Sounds really good.
I was just messing around.
Okay, but that sounds good. We like to open and let our artists demonstrate their talent a little bit. So that was great. And welcome, Facebook family and friends, to the Doris Hall James Show. As you know, we're here to promote our artists from yesterday that's still working and doing well today, because believe it or not, they are still working, and they're recording, they're songwriting, they're performing, they're doing a whole lot of stuff. And we want to keep our music alive. So today, our guest is Eubie. Eubie,
Yes.
Chico?
Chico.
Okay, Denise told me to call you Chico.
Chico the Ironworker.
Okay. And he's here today, and he's going to let us travel with him through his musical journey. Now, Chico, let's start. Tell me a little bit of how you got into this.
I was a rock and roller though.
Oh, okay.
This was like, I was into like Jethro Tull, you know, the guy with the one leg and plays his flute, and he would rock. So I didn't play flute then. I was loving this guy. I mean, I went to his concerts and all that. And then one day I was going to school and somebody had a flute for sale. And I said, hey, is that a flute? And they opened up the case, and there it was. And I asked him if I could play it. I put it together, and I started playing it. And the guy was asking me how many years I was playing flute. And I'm looking at the guy, and I said, no.
That was your first time?
That was my first time. And then I told the guy, I says, well, can you show me something? And the guy didn't know nothing about the flute. He just grabbed it almost correct on one hand, and then the other hand, he was over here somewhere. So I looked and I said, well, what are you doing with the flute? Are you going to sell it? And he's like, yeah, I'm selling it. And I said, wow, well, how much do you want? And he said, oh, just give me $20. And I had $20 in my pocket at that time, and I gave it to him. I took it home, and I put on the vinyl records, because back in the day we had vinyl.
The vinyl records, yes.
And I started playing along with Ian Anderson, the Jethro Tull. I was playing along, and then I went to the school the next day, and I said, look, I want music instead of, you know, drafting.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, that was dumb.
So they give me music, and I met this teacher by the name of what's his name? Morris, Kipling Morris. That's his name. And he started playing. He asked me, go ahead and play something for me. And he pulls out his flute from his drawer. So he's putting his flute, and he was like really soft with his flute. And I just took my flute, and I was like giving him some. And he was like, whoa, wait a minute. He puts the flute back. And he puts it back in the drawer, and he says, you just go in that room over there and just play your heart out.
And practice and play.
That's what he said.
Okay.
You know, and I was away from everybody else. He had me in this room, and I would, you know, do like Cross-Eyed Mary or My God, you know, or Aquilon. And I would do that. And then I took it to the streets. So, you know, and that happened when I was walking through City Hall one day, and I was whistling, and I had my flute, but I was whistling, and the acoustics were so beautiful. Okay. And back in the day, they weren't many musicians in City Hall like they have now, where it's just noise, you know, but back then, you know, I heard the acoustics. So I said, whoa, wait a minute. I'm going to play some Jethro Tull here. So I started playing some Ian Anderson music. And people started throwing money. And I'm saying, whoa, I'm not doing this for money. So the person says, no, that's tokens of appreciation. So then I thought of it. I said, okay. Yeah, and I would play, and and I would play till the cops kicked me out, because back then the cops would kick you out. You come back an hour later, and then the cops come back out, and they tell you got to move, and they had dogs at that time. But it wasn't bad, because they started getting used to me, and they started liking me, and they were putting money themselves.
Okay.
So it was, they were appreciating it, and it was years of that, and I met so many good musicians like Byron Lancaster, because he liked me, Byron Lancaster, he always played his saxophone, and he also played flute.
Well, were you amazed at the gift, the talent that you had? I mean,
yes, it's like a Holy Spirit. Yes. Yeah. To me, I tell this is my Holy Spirit, because when I play the flute, everything just, because actually, I was, at that time when I picked up the flute, I was going through a heartbroken thing, puppy love. I was such in love with this girl at one time, and I don't know how, we're gonna die. but when I got introduced to the flute, I totally forgot about it. It took that pain away.
Music can do that, right?
Yes. And then people tell me, and I tell them my age now. They say, "Oh, you haven't changed." I said, "It's the flute." I said, "It's the magic wand." But and like construction workers, when I tell them I play the flute, they don't think, "You play the flute?" I say, "Yeah."
Okay.
Because that's what I do. I say, "You got to come to one of my shows." They don't believe.
They say you have show, you perform.
Oh yeah.
And they say that to you.
Oh God, yeah. I tell them I actually do shows. And I do it with different people. Sometimes myself. Sometimes I'll get a group together, and we'll do a Latin jazz thing. And but I like playing with good musicians. Yeah. Good musicians that are there.
Well, when like I was telling you before, is that, excuse me, 1 minute. Let me say hello to all of our Facebook family who joined in. We have Frats Duncan and John Chamberlain again. Hi, John. Calvin Shares and Ella. Hi, Marcy. Gilberta Cruz.
Hi, Marcy.
Hi, Kevin Moore and Sandy Sykes. Hi, Sandy. Natasha Timbers. Let me see. And Michael Jodham. I may be pronouncing it incorrectly, but look, guys, thank you for joining in. We have Eubie here with us, Chico, and he's taking us to his musical journey. So just stay right with us for me. Hi, Tim. Tim Lancaster's here too.
What's up, brother?
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Now, when you are you booking yourself? Were you booking yourself then, or did you have an agent, or how were you getting these performances?
Well, the performances I was getting through, because they have an agent. The guys that I would play with.
Oh, okay.
Because if it ain't them, then I would book it myself.
Okay.
But a lot of times, like I've been doing a lot of iron work lately. Well, not iron because I'm repairing heavy machinery.
Okay.
Heavy machinery. That's why my fingers look like this. But anyway, that's what I do on the side, and I've been very busy, and sometimes, But now that I'm with the Tierra Caliente, this is legit.
Okay.
We've been going all over, the place. I mean, we've been in California, Colombia, and we're going to be going all over the place, because Coors Light is pushing us.
Isn't that something?
And that's nice. Coors Light, yes.
Yes, give a shout out to Coors Light. Because I was on, I try to find something out about, if I don't really know my guests, I try to find something out about them before we sit down. And I went on YouTube, and you had quite a few videos on YouTube. And I was very, very impressed. And I was saying to myself, well, does he have a booking agency? Does he book himself? How does he get all of these, shows that you're getting?
Yeah, it's like word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's the best way, isn't it?
It's always the best way.
It's the best way.
Yeah, sometimes I have to turn down stuff. It's like, okay, all right, I can't do it.
So how many, when you play, you play in a variety of different groups?
Yeah, I could play, I can change up. I mean, I can play with a group that's playing, top 40, wedding bands, because I played with Guys and Dolls wedding band years ago, And they used to hire me. I used to play with Rafael Cruz, if you're familiar, in Latin jazz percussionist. Check him out. And I played with Doc Gibbs, and through Barry Sames, if you're familiar with Barry Sames. No. Well, he used to hook me up all the time.
Oh, did he?
Gibbs. And then Doc Gibbs eventually used me in one of his albums. I think Serving It Hot is the name of the CD. And, but before all that, after the Jethro Tull came the best part.
Okay, let's hear the best part.
When I was introduced to Latin jazz.
Okay, all right.
Because I was so green. Because where I lived up north, where I lived at, they didn't have any of that in the radio stations. All they had was rock and roll, country music. And that's all I've heard, And when I came to Philly, I started opening up to, this different music, and it was just opening me up. I had to try it. So I started experimenting and I started loving it.
What year was that? What do you think?
I came to Philadelphia in 1979.
Okay, all right.
And that's when I met my wife. I think around 78, 79. That's when I met my wife, and then we had our children together. But she met me, and I was playing the flute. I had a little top hat. I met her. Our first date was to meet at City Hall. I had my top hat, and it was funny. But yeah, I was introduced to the Latin jazz, and I was introduced to a flautist by the name of Dave Valentin. And Dave Valentin, I saw him on VH1, and I saw him play his flute. And when I saw him play his flute, I said, "Holy, what the?" I said, "This guy's playing the flute. I mean, I'm feeling it." I says, "I got to see him." All of a sudden, a buddy of mine tells me, "Hey, Dave Valentin is playing at the World Trade Center, free concert." I said, "I got to go."
Okay.
So I drove all the way from Springfield, Massachusetts to New York City to see Dave Valentin.
Okay.
Trying to find a parking space.
Oh, yeah. But it was easy because we had a little tiny Civic, Honda Civic.
Okay.
Those real old ones. And it almost looks like a car, the little car things. Well, we went there, and when that man performed, I started crying because I felt it.
Okay.
I never felt that. So I'm here in the audience sobbing, and I'm saying, "Wow, this guy's blowing me away."
Construction worker.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
So then I went, when he was done, I went towards him, and I gave him an article because they wrote up an article of what I was doing, and I mentioned him.
Right.
So what the weird thing was that, I gave him the article, he puts it in his top pocket, and I said, "Read it, okay?" And he says, "Oh, it's right here."
Okay.
3 days later, he calls him.
Great.
And my wife says, "Hey, somebody by the name of Dave Valentin called." I said, "Whoa, give me."
Yeah. Give me your phone, right?
Yeah. So from there, we met up in Puerto Rico because I was going there that weekend that was coming up, and he was going to be there. So we met up, we played, we had a good time. Then eventually he invited me to his house, and then he gave me my first lesson. Here's the other surprise. He introduces me to Afro-Cuban music.
Oh, okay.
So so he puts his vinyl record on, and then he's got the little cassette recorder, and he's playing orquesta. Yeah, he's recording Orquesta Aragon, Jose Fajardo. He was recording Pancho Bravo, and then he just hands it to me, and he says, "This is your first lesson." And I took that thing, took it home. I cherished that little cassette, but the neighbors didn't like it. Because I was practicing those high notes.
Breaking glass.
And and those high notes were killer. I was like, till I perfected it. And then I was having fun. I said, okay. And then I started doing the charanga style music with Orlando Fiol.
Okay.
And then started working with La Única, Charanga La Única, Foto Rodriguez.
You have to understand, you are now educating us.
Yeah, because
in the different genres.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I started getting into classical too.
okay.
Oh yeah, I was loving it. When I hear it, I was like, oh, especially Mozart.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I was loving it. But yeah, when he turned me on to that, and you know, I love him for it.
That's great.
You know, and it was so sad that, you know, he's gone now.
Oh.
You know, because he passed away last year.
Okay.
And you know, and I played a month, a couple months before he had passed. I played for him. You know, and he cried.
Oh.
You know, and it's crazy because you know, when I saw him, I cried, and when he sees me, I play for him, he cries.
Oh.
You know, and you know,
friend.
oh yeah, he you know, he really touched my heart. When he passed, it really broke my heart. You know, I mean, you know, when people pass, you know, that you're like, okay, you know, rest in peace. But when he died, it totally.
But he gave you something that you will always cherish, and you will something you will always use.
Oh yeah.
And you know, that's a gift that he passed on to you.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that was great. Let me say hi to Vanessa Harper Simpson. Hi, Vanessa. And Tim Lancaster is still with us, and Michael's still with us. Thank you, guys. Now, tell me a little bit about your first CD.
Okay. Well, my first CD is it's sort of like Frank Zappa-ish.
What?
Oh yeah. You know, I was getting into some crazy.
Joe's Garage or something?
you have to hear it. And then it's Eubie and the Kind Buds. If you see my head, it's sticking out of a bud.
Okay.
It's sticking out of a bud, and my flute is right here.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that on YouTube.
Yeah, people would think it's a sword.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so and it was cool. Well, I did it. I thought it was all right, and the thing is, you know, it had you know, some people didn't like it too much. You know, because you're promoting drugs. I said, no, it's not drugs. It's just grass. It's, you know. But you know,
that was the time.
But they played an RTI. Thank you, David Ortiz.
Okay.
Because you'll hear it. It's called Latin Funk. And I'm sure you can still get it. And I should have brought that CD too. I should have brought the CD.
Yeah, we can play it off Philly Latin
But you know, my sister loves that Latin funk because she does the Zumba. And she's a Zumba queen, I call her. And my sister Sandy, and she loves that.
Yeah. So David Ortiz plays it at his Viaje, and I've heard it a couple times. You know, and because I don't actually hear Viaje too much, you know, and because I'm always gigging, so I don't have time to hear it when I'm gigging. So you know, so it's not, you know, every time that I hear El Viaje, but it's, you know, it's been a couple times where I'm in the radio listening to El Viaje, and all of a sudden my music comes. I say, whoa,
isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
That one. I know I have to tell you something. One time I was asleep and I thought I was dreaming. You know, I heard this music. It sounded like me. You know, it really sounded like me. And I woke up and it was a song that I did. And they had 2 or 3 couples dancing to the song. And I woke up and I just stared at the TV. I said, oh my God, they're playing my music.
And they're dancing to it.
And dancing. And I just couldn't believe that was such a wonderful feeling.
Yes. Yes, it is.
All that hard work you put into that music. And then all of a sudden, it's being played. And people are enjoying it. So I understand that.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I was like, oh, my God. And then I get friends that would call my wife. Hey, we heard your husband's music on the radio.
Yes.
And it was, they wouldn't play Mrs. Greenplant, though.
Why?
Because Mrs. Greenplant, you know, that's where the Frank Zappa comes in.
Okay.
And I start talking and all that stuff. So, but what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna repackage it and we're gonna edit some of that.
Okay, and you're gonna put that out.
And I'm gonna put it out again,
Good.
but I'm gonna add a few more songs to it. So instead of having 8 songs, it'll have 10 or 12 songs.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're working on that now.
Where do you go to? Do you go to studio here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, studio.
Okay.
Budissimo Studios.
Okay.
Yeah, so
You
that's.
mastering there too?
Pardon me?
They do the mastering there too?
The what?
Master.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, my ears are.
Okay.
It's okay for them high pitches.
That's why I play those. I play the flute loudest because I can't hear myself.
Okay. So you're going to work on that. Now, how about Facebook family and friends? This is your second.
That is
Okay.
that. Yeah, but
This
that
is-
is with the Tierra
Okay.
Caliente. Okay, they have me as, featuring me.
Okay.
And I have fun with these guys. I mean, these guys are right on, and everywhere we go, we get great ratings. We're doing good. I can say that Bronson Tennessee, he knows what's going on with the music. I mean, he knows the dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just help him with a little toodaloot here and there, and it works out. And he doesn't just give me paper and say, hey, look, you got to do this, do that. No, he lets me go with the flow. And that's what I do,
He trusts your feeling.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was telling he's well, every time I go and try to help him load up or whatever, he would grab all the heavy stuff. He says, oh, no. He says, I got to keep you for at least another 20 years.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
nice.
Okay. But did you write
He's
any?
thinking about his hands.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's doing construction work and he's talking about carrying heavy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's your
okay.
hands that people are worried about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But these hands, they get beat up. And let me tell you, I've been an iron worker since 1981. And these hands have been hurt. My bones have been broken. I've been, in bad
You were
shape.
playing with 3 fingers?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Sometimes, one time I smashed my finger so bad.
My.
Then I had to do a gig. And when I was playing, I mean, I was jamming. I wasn't thinking about,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden it starts bleeding.
Oh.
I mean, I'm getting blood dripping from my finger as I'm playing the flute. I'm like, oh, no. And I had to, after the set, go and bandage it up, get it, back in place, get it ready, then go back over there again. But I had a cheap flute
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
I mean, that back then, all my holes were covered, so it wasn't like I wasn't covering anything, And this was a gift.
The show must go on.
Oh, yeah.
It must go on.
This,
Bleeding
yeah.
fingers and all, right?
Yeah.
Just keep on going.
And this was a gift by a gentleman named Philip DeGenova, and he used to play downtown at the Rittenhouse Square or the Suburban Station, and we met, and he liked my style, and we became friends. So he ended up giving me his flute and about 5 other flutes. Okay, and he was done. He says, I'm done playing flute. Here.
Oh.
So he stopped?
Okay.
He stopped. He gave me a box of music.
How could he stop?
He stopped because he says he's done. He says, oh, I'm done.
Is he doing anything in music now?
No.
No, he just stopped.
No, he just stopped. I mean, he's a senior citizen.
Yeah, he just stopped.
You know?
I mean, then you still keep doing
Yeah, but he didn't want
Yeah, I
to.
guess he just didn't
He
want to.
just, he just gave up everything. He gave me his Martin guitar.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he gave me everything he had that had had something to do with music. That was it. And well, thank you, Phil. I love you too.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
and putting it to good use. I mean, it's a beautiful instrument.
It's beautiful.
Right.
It's a beautiful instrument, and what I had before that, I mean, because I'm used to playing with junk. Okay, but because Ava was talking, even Dave said it. He says it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
He says it doesn't matter what you have; it's the messenger.
Yeah.
He says it doesn't matter, and it's true because I've seen some fine flute players play with junk.
Yeah.
And they sound so sweet. I said, look at this. He's playing so nice with that piece of junk. I said, because he plays. He's a player.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I mean, one time I was playing this Chinese junk flute. Okay? And I went and I try to fix it up where I get a sound. So here I'm playing this piece of junk downtown, and it sounded really nice. The dude comes up to me and says, man, what kind of flute is that? I love that flute. Can I buy it from you? I said, no, you cannot buy it from me because then you'd be looking for me.
Mm-hmm.
He says, what do you mean? I said, because I have to really squeeze this flute just to get a sound.
You know.
Yeah, I said, I have to squeeze it because, you know, it leaks. I have to give it the kung fu grip.
Okay.
You know, where this you don't. You know, it's light. It's a light touch. You go up and down. You do whatever you want. You get your high notes, and they're not like this. You know, you can play a nice soft high note instead of a hard.
You know, I want to get back to this.
Go ahead.
Because I want everybody to know where they can get. Did you write any songs with you?
No. All I wrote was my flute parts.
Okay. Okay. So now pronounce this for me.
De tierra caliente.
Okay.
De tierra caliente. It's available on iTunes, I guess, Apple Music.
Take it closer to
Take it closer. Okay.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and YouTube and iTunes and I guess Apple Music and all that other CD Baby.
Yes.
You get them on all that. Trust me. I don't know the whole list, but there you go.
Okay.
De tierra caliente.
Because we listened to a couple of tracks and they were good. They were good. We sat down here and we listened, had good rhythm, and so we wanted to play you know, one of your tunes. Eventually we wanted to play. What's your favorite tune on the CD?
All of them.
I knew you were gonna say that. Everybody says the same thing. They won't pick one tune. Now come on, give me your favorite.
I like Traigo Alegría. The title. The title
this
song.
one here.
Yes.
Okay.
That means bring you happiness.
Oh, that's good. That's
you
good.
know, I bring you happiness. Traigo Alegría. You know, and it's a nice song. You know, it's a nice festive, you know, and that's what we're talking, you know. We're talking,
bring you happiness.
Bringing
boy,
happiness.
Do we need that.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, geez.
Well, what's your plans like for the future? I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to go back and record again?
We're going to record again.
Promote this. You're going to promote your CD.
Yes. And this is produced by Bronson Tennis. He's awesome singer, songwriter, and it's fresh, you know. And he's got always something cooking because we are also playing music that hasn't been recorded yet. So it's like it comes new every time we do something, and we do it, and that's it.
And you said something to me. You said, I don't like to do cover songs. I like to come out and play our original tune.
Yeah.
How does the audience react to that?
Well, a lot of because he has a following, a lot of the audience, they would sing along.
So after they get the rhythm and some of the lyrics and stuff, they just blend right in and start singing.
They start singing along.
So they accept the song right away.
Oh yeah. They start dancing. They start grooving.
Okay.
You know, because it's the dynamics. It's the way he you know, the way our music just all of a sudden it's like a net.
Gotcha.
It got you, and you're there, and you're moving, you know, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's like fuel, and that's when I really, you know, start creating and everything because I feel the energy from the audience, and then I give them back, you know, the energy. It's like, there you go.
Well, that's really great, and like some of the cover songs, like I guess I never stopped to think that if I'm waiting to go on stage and someone is there singing a cover song
that
I gotta sing, how I would feel about that, right? I guess that's never happened. And I guess
that happens.
That would have been kind of scary, right?
Yeah, that happens, and that's why I don't like doing cover songs. because there are many times that, like when I was, playing with the salsa band, Foto Rodriguez. I mean, before we go on, there'd be another salsa band up on there, and all of a sudden they're playing one or two, maybe three of the songs that we're going to play, and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, wait a minute, they're playing the song we're going to play, so we're going to have to scratch that one out.
So you wouldn't do the song?
Well, he'll eventually do it. But yeah, I try to talk him out of it. Yo, come on, man, we already heard this. We heard a different version.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of versions.
Yeah.
Right.
There's all kinds of versions, but I just don't feel like it's like, oh, here we go again. All right. But with Bronson, it's mostly his original.
His original material.
It's original material, and he does have a following. And then when we play our original material, people are rocking.
Right.
And that's a good thing. And everywhere we go, they want us back.
Isn't that great?
That's the whole.
And you play locally? We
play locally, and we also play everywhere else, down south, up north, west.
Good.
And he's talking about Europe, and I'm talking with somebody right now that would like to take us for the performing for the soldiers, the armed forces.
Okay.
So we're working on that, but the dates got to jive. I mean, if they're gonna do the 10-day tour, we got to be ready for those 10 days.
How many pieces are you talking?
We're just 5.
Okay.
We're just 5 piece.
There's some singers on there too. Wasn't I see some singers?
There's some singers in there. There's some. I sing a little bit too, but it's awful.
Okay.
I just blow it through my flute, and that's it. But other than that, that's why God. Because I used to sing.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I used to
God
sing.
Said,
God said, "Here, you just reached puberty. You can't sing no more." He gave me the flute, and that was it. But no, that was it. I mean, But the song, we have real good musicians, and we have the singers. The percussionist sings. The bassist also sings. He does great harmony with Bronson. And all I do is just the melodies and just have fun with the solos.
And you do such a great job.
Thank you.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
And I'm proud to have you here on our show. I really am. And I know it's many people out there that's trying to get into the music world, the music industry. They don't know how, or they may be in it and they're frustrated because they can't get to a point where you are, where they want to be. What kind of information can you give them to encourage them to continue?
You just have to keep. You have to keep practicing.
You have to keep practicing.
Keep playing. Keep playing. Play your heart out. Play what you feel. That's what I did. I played and played and played, and all of a sudden, because believe me, if I had a nickel every time somebody says, "Hey, man, I got something for you. You're gonna do this. You're gonna be that. This and that. Blah blah."
No.
You have one of them that'll build you up. Give you all this BS and
Yes,
BS.
Yeah.
I'd be a millionaire. So I had all kinds of people. I've seen it all. I've heard it all, and just all you have to do is be at the right place at the right time, and see what's going on. You have to. See what's going on. Play your flute. And play with everybody.
When you were cutting your teeth and really getting to know the flute, and you were playing, you said you were in the subway before?
Oh, yeah. I played at the city halls, subways.
Right. How many musicians down there would you say that are great? Unsung, put it that way.
Okay. The musicians that are down there now? Or
Okay, from your past.
Put them on blast.
From
right?
my past, one of the best musicians that I've met downtown, and he's no longer with us. His name is Kevin, and he used to play a recorder,
A recorder.
He used to play a recorder, but
Really?
yes, but he played so well that you had no problem going in your pockets
It's
and
soft,
just
wasn't it?
empty out my pocket. Every time I see him, I empty out my pockets.
Really?
Oh, he was
All right.
awesome. Nobody played a recorder like Kevin downtown at City Hall. And Kevin, if you're still alive, I love you.
Yes. Yes.
You know, where are you? But other than that, and then you have some good ones. You have Baz that plays the flute now downtown, and he's a good flute player. But there's all other musicians down there.
Mm-hmm.
Some are good, but they're learning.
Right.
So you could tell they're learning.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some that just want to just be there playing, they just
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, Mary had a little lamb kind of music, stuff like that. When you hear that, you're like, what is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't pay attention. I just keep
Okay.
walking. But then you have the young ones that are practicing and they're practicing and they're practicing. I say, good, they're practicing.
Practice makes perfect.
That's right. And then you have some that just have no respect.
Mm.
You see a musician playing here, and then you're gonna set up 15 feet away and start playing, and that's not right. That's not cool. Where back in the day, we would switch. They would come up. Hey, you're gonna be there any longer? Yeah, I'll be here about 10 minutes.
I don't think they do that at all now.
No, and we used to switch. I mean, with different musicians, they would come and they would say, hey, how long will you be at the spot? No, I'll be here another half hour.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them that, and then they'll be back, and then you go to another spot. So you're trading different spots. But now they don't ask you. They just plant themselves there, with a ukulele or something, or start singing some mumbo jumbo stuff. And we're like, what is he singing? And that's what you have today. But the best buskers I saw were in New York City.
What did you call them?
Buskers.
Buskers.
Yes.
Okay, let me write that one down.
Yeah. The best I've seen were in New York City. I mean, when I went to Dave Valentin's funeral, I'm telling you, the subway was awesome.
Oh.
The subway,
Really?
there were some real good musicians. I mean, you had to stop.
Okay.
There were bands there that would set up. It's like the guy with that saxophone, that big baritone in New York City playing. I've seen him down there.
Oh, wow.
When you see this, this entertainment, you're like, wow.
You gonna see
and it hits you. And then when you come to Philly,
yeah, okay.
you have some that are, you have some good stuff going on. Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry, guys.
Because sometimes it's very seldom that I'm downtown, like taking the L and the subway, but I do it every once in a while.
Once in a while,
the talent is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. When you go to New York City, it's like in your face, and you're like, wow, and you see the crowd that it draws, and you're like, oh my God, look at the crowd that it's drawing, and it's drawing a crowd.
Okay.
And I've seen that here in Philly one time, and it was in front of the Liberty Place. They had
17th and Market.
17th and Market.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was a group of 5, and they were like from South America playing their panpipes.
Oh, okay.
But that was awesome. It sounded so beautiful, and all of a sudden somebody makes a call and they had to be moved. And they didn't have to be moved.
People were enjoying it.
But that was, some good entertainment. And that's what we need. What we need is some good entertainment.
Good entertainment, right?
Live in the streets. And that's what we need.
Okay,
and you can do it. All you need is a generator. Get your band out there. If you guys got a band, want to put one together, get a little generator and get a little setup, and you can do it.
And that's the way to be heard, right?
Yeah.
That's a good way to be
That's
heard.
a good way to be heard. Because when I worked with Rafael Cruz in New York City, he would go to these festivals, and he would bring cases of his CDs.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Right.
And he would set the cases of his CD. He has a little generator, and he'll have the mic set up. He has the drum. He played the percussion. I was his flute. And before the day ended, before the festival ended, they were all gone.
They were all gone.
That's right. And he would pay us handsomely, and we were on our way home.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, yeah.
But now, now it's like music is a business. I mean, you are self-employed, and you're responsible for the outcome.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you don't get those distribution deals like we used to get, or those record labels.
No.
So now you have to, it's like you're self-employed. You have to manage yourself.
You
so
got to
you
do
have
it
to sell
your
your CDs, and you have to do all your work and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you get out of it what you put in.
Exactly.
We were at a concert not too long ago, and the same thing happened. They had a whole bunch of CDs at a table, and while the concert was going on, after the concert ended, they sent everybody out to pick up the CD. And they got up and they went up and they purchased the CD.
Mm-hmm.
So when I turn around, CDs were gone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how that was.
That's good.
And he would have a festival every week, and he would call me, hey, we got a festival here. Okay, we'll go there. And it's the same little setup. He has his little, generator, and he powers everything up, and then we start jamming. And we jam in the street in New York City. New York City, it's like people are like, like ants. And they listen to the music, and then you have another guy that he pays that's holding the CDs up. And people are just taking them, and they're taking them. I'm like, look at that. This is the way to go. This is how you get rid of CDs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he had it going on. And he came out with, what do you call it? With a Latin jazz record. And he got an award for it. Oh, yeah. Rafael Cruz. You have to look him up. Rafael Cruz.
Okay.
Check.
Okay, so our time is nearing, okay? But before we end this, we have to say hi to our grandchildren, because we have grandchildren,
that's right?
And then we have the same grandchildren, right?
Yeah, hi, Jade and Jayla.
So we want to say hi to our and this is Grandmom. We're not married, but we have the same grandkids, okay? And
yes.
I want to thank you for coming out, and meeting with us and giving us all this good information and letting us travel through your musical journey with you, because that's important. And you're invited to always come back and keep us updated, because we're interested in what you're doing back then, what you're doing now, what you're going to do. We're interested in all of that.
All right, you got it.
Okay?
You got it.
All right, then.
And we are good.
Are we done?
But now, wait, we want to make sure that you gave information how you could be reached. Want to give that again?
Yeah.
So they could know how to reach you?
Well, you can reach me. You can reach me through Facebook and Messenger, Eubie Neives. Just punch my name, and if you need any other info, just you can contact me through Messenger, and we'll be cool. Okay.
All right then. Well,
any upcoming shows?
Upcoming shows. Tomorrow I got a wedding.
Oh, okay.
I don't have. Let me see. Tomorrow I have a wedding.
Let me check my schedule.
Check your
I
schedule.
have to check, because I'm playing with and this Tuesday I'm playing with Magdalise Rora. Hi, Magdalise.
Okay.
Yes, that's another hot group. Magdalise
Hi, Devin.
Rora.
Hi, Patricia. And hi, Harry. Welcome.
Let me see.
I
if
can see a little
find-
better now. A little.
Still ain't got the glasses on.
I know we're gonna be at the Paris Bistro. All right, we're gonna be at the Beach Creek. That's the 28th.
Okay, well, all within 30 days.
30 days. Music on the Main in Yardley. That's the 4th.
Okay.
Then we have the Paris Bistro on the 10th. And then we have, we're doing a thing on NASA too. We're going to be doing a gig on NASA. At NASA, not on NASA. At NASA. But yeah, I want to look through this one.
Well, if you can always let us know, and we can we can post it on the radio show.
Cool.
We have Philly Live Radio,
Mm-hmm.
and we like to, post things, events from our artists that sat with us on the radio to let people know what they're doing and the events so they can plan to attend. So if you send us that by email, we could do that.
And when you have new music ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
you
Ready
need
to
to send
play
it this
it.
way so we can play it for you.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we can start with this,
Yes,
right?
most
We can start with
definitely.
this.
Most definitely.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Are we
We
done?
thank you, Facebook book family and friends for tuning in with us tonight, and we thank Eubie for being here. And this show is produced by Philly Live Radio. We thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We are out.
We're out.
Okay.
Bye, Devin.
As soon as she clears that, go ahead. I want to ask a question.
Okay.